Gang, hope you're well. Welcome to another Level Up podcast/video. Today I'm going to speak about the three biggest mistakes that I made as an online fitness coach. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Jack. I scaled my fitness business up to 7 figures. And today I'm going to share with you, the three mistakes that I think is absolutely fundamental. And it's three mistakes that you could easily avoid just by listening to this video or watching this video. So, number one, I used to get really emotional when someone used to leave my service. Okay, so if someone entered my service and then 6 months later they're like, I'm leaving, I used to be like, fuck you. And that was coming from like the emotional part of my brain. Okay, but when you recognize and learn that every single person you have in your business right now is probably going to leave you, you kind of like detach the like emotion and logical side of things. Like, even if you get a new client today, understand at some level they are going to leave you. So if you like become emotionally detached from this, you can obviously like talk to the person after they've left anyway. But if you become emotionally detached from this, these texts that you get, I'm gonna leave. These texts you get are met with logic and not emotion. Okay, so so you can basically take data away. Hey, sorry that you're leaving. Do you mind if I grab a video testimonial? Do you mind if I get some feedback from the service so I can improve the service? You think of things real world. You think of things like a business would, and not like, okay, fuck you then. And also doing things that way, the business way, you'd actually find that people actually come back to your service a lot more. At least that's what I found. That's what I find with my mentees as well. Is that if you leave on good terms, if you exit someone's service and they've left on good terms and not with you like putting your fingers up, there's a high likelihood that they will probably be back. Okay, so that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is I used to avoid investing into my business. Okay, like the plague as well. For the first 3 years of trying to grow my online coaching business, I invested next to fuck all. Okay, I refused to pay for Calendly. I refused to pay for Mailchimp. I refused to pay for anything within my coaching service. Everything had to be free. Um, I refused to pay for mentorship. I refused just to invest in anything, and I wondered why I didn't grow my business in the first 3 years. Looking back at that, yeah, it's very obvious why I didn't. Um, and as soon as I invested, it's quite funny because I remember the day. As soon as I invested, one of the scariest days of my life, I invested in my coaching service, and all of a sudden, everything started to click. Coincidentally, it's almost like investing in my business gave my business a speed pass. Okay, so for the first 3 years of my business, to put into context, I had sub 10 clients. I think I had like sub 12 clients. Um, and then all of a sudden my business started to fucking explode the day I invested in my business. So now I do the complete opposite. Okay, I don't need to be sold something that well in order to push money into it. Okay, and nearly every single investment I have made to this date has given me a positive ROI. Now, the positive ROI might not be financial, which is something that you have to recognize. Sometimes it's skills, which then leads to a big ROI. Okay, let's just say, for example, you're thinking, where should I invest my money? And you do like a sales course, for example. Okay, that immediately is probably not going to give you a massive ROI because maybe like lead gen is off, so you're not getting like leads in. You can now convert them because you got sales call training, so the ROI just isn't there. And then when you invest in like the marketing aspect, you know how to market yourself, so you know how to get like leads in. You now know how to get leads in and sell to them. So that's the big ROI. Okay, so one of the biggest things you can do when you're investing in your business is look for like skills or things to make your life actually just easier. Again, things like Calendly, Mailchimp, just automation, Zapier, etc. Okay, um, but yeah, at every single fucking turn, especially for the first like 5 years of your business, learn to invest. Okay, and don't get too greedy with it. Okay, when you get to like your first like 5 grand month, Don't think, oh, I'm gonna go and buy a fucking Lamborghini on PCP, which is what a lot of people do. They try to, instead of trying to get rich, they try to look rich, which means it puts financial burden on them. So their expenses are fucking through the roof, which means they can't scale because they can't reinvest back into the business. It's actually one of the biggest things that I see with coaches who are stuck under 5K a month is quite simply their expenses are just so high um, that they can't reinvest back into the business, and then all of a sudden their business starts to go the other way. So they have like almost like a cash flow issue. They do have a cash flow issue just because they're spending so much money on shite that isn't giving them an ROI. Okay. So yeah, and that's what saying like you can't go on holiday and better holidays, because I think you definitely can. That in itself is an investment in my opinion. A lot of people are like, you spend money on traveling and you shouldn't do that. Like people who are ridiculously wealthy, you shouldn't do that. But in my opinion, like you're on this earth fucking once. Like you can definitely do that. One of the one of my biggest expenses in my opinion, well not even in my opinion, one of the biggest expenses I have, um, is traveling. Is like, yeah, hotels, the flights, and stuff like that. And that's just because if I'm on my deathbed or when I'm on my deathbed, I want to be like, I fucking traveled everywhere and I loved it. It's actually one of the biggest reasons why I started my online coaching business was because I wanted to travel when the fuck I wanted, and I didn't want to ask someone if I can book a holiday. I just wanted to go and do it. Like for example, literally, um, around 30 days before, maybe like 25 days before going to Vegas, I was like, let's go to Vegas. Obviously, we went for an event, but it's kind of like, yeah, I couldn't do that in like in a full time role. We did the same thing with Dubai last year as well. It's like, hey, let's go to Dubai. Went to Dubai. I actually think in the last 2 years, not a single one of the holidays or not a single flight that I've taken, I have booked more than 30 days in advance. Okay, so I've basically booked it for 30 days and been like, we're going here. And that's one of the biggest beauties of the online coaching space is that you don't have to ask anyone because you're the boss. Um, so yeah, the last mistake that I made as a fitness coach was I had no data. I tracked no data. Okay, so I was kind of like winging it. I didn't know any business metrics in the whole entire world. I didn't know how many leads I was getting in a month or on a monthly basis. I didn't know how many sales I was generating, how many sales calls I was having. I knew nothing, no data at all. Okay, and here's one of the biggest things that I see within the coaching space is that coaches' data is Instagram likes. So how many likes did I get on my post? How many views did I get on my post? Versus real world business data, the data that actually drives the business, not improves vanity metrics. Okay, so Instagram likes or the reach or the engagement that you get. I think actually one of the biggest things that I hear from like one-to-one individuals is like, I'm not getting many views on my posts, or I'm not seeing many likes on my posts. And my thing, or like the whole time, my one of the biggest phrases that I give back to them is, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care about reach or likes on your posts. I just don't care. It doesn't matter. Okay, you could have literally 100 fucking people who are viewing that piece of content with one like, and that's 100 fucking people. Okay, and if you split that down the middle and you say 50% of bots, and then friends and family like mesh together, you've still got 50 people on your business. Like, if 50 people are eyes onto your business, you can scale like that. You don't need a lot of people to sell to. Okay, but just as a rebuttal, and I'll keep repeating this until I'm blue in the face. Do not track Instagram metrics and think that you are tracking business metrics, because it's so different. We don't track anything to do with Instagram metrics. The only thing we track is Instagram following. That's it. And actually, 9 times out of 10, when a client comes to me, they'll see that the follower list actually goes down for a bit, just because of the way that we're posting. We're not posting for likes. We are posting to drive a business, and they're fucking different. Okay, unless you don't become an influencer, then obviously that's a different story. But we're talking in the realms of online fitness coaching. But the main thing is that start tracking business data, business metrics. Okay, things like LTV, CAC, all that good stuff. Not Instagram metrics. Okay, if you track this, in fact, if you rectify all three of these, so don't take levers to heart, invest more into your business and start tracking actually business real world data versus Instagram metrics. If you do that, you'll grow a fucking business. So maybe go do it.